Today we are at the Lyric Opera Center located in Kansas City's East Crossroads District to learn more about Everest, the Lyric Opera's newest production that opens on November 11th at the Kaufman Center for the Performing Arts. Today we are with Deborah Sandler, who is the General Director and the CEO of the Lyric. Deborah, thank you so much for having us here.
And it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Now, this is the first stage performance of Everest after it debuted in Dallas. How did Everest make its way to Kansas City?
Well, it debuted in January of 2015, and I had the great good fortune of being invited to come see it. And as I sat in the audience and I sort of, took my own pulse and heartbeat and was sensitive to the people around me, I knew that I was watching something very, very special, and it was something that I thought that our Kansas City audiences would love. And then how to figure out how to make it happen.
And there's so many, there have been so many expeditions of Mount Everest. So is this about a specific expedition or experience at Mount Everest?
Yes, it is. So it's based on the story is the same story that John Krakauer's book, Into Thin Air, is based on. And it tells the many stories of the 1996 expedition, which proved to be so disastrous for so many people.
How are you setting up the stage and the actors to replicate that excitement of that experience, of that expedition?
Well, I'm so glad you've asked. This is a fascinating production. I've said to other people that taken together it is probably the most musically and technologically challenging production that we have ever done. So from the very beginning, when the composer and the librettist got together, they were excited about a number of things. How they were going to visually replicate the look of the mountain, how they were going to suggest what it felt like. And then for the composer, the opportunity to replicate the sound of the mountain. What happens when you're so high up but not at the summit? What does the wind sound like during a storm? So we have 30 instruments, percussion instruments alone, to take care of that, which will be played by 4 members of the Kansas City Symphony.
Oh my goodness.
And the stage itself, there are a lot of interesting things happening. So there are 90 cubes, 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet. They're big cubes, and they are bolted together at different angles, and the actors, the singing actors, actually climb those cubes. So it represents, the climb of the mountain. We are going to be bringing in a company called Flying by Foy, because we are going to have people rappelling 17 feet down the set, which replicates the mountain. So there are a lot of interesting things going on. Every person who stands on that stage and sings will be wearing a harness, either over their costume or under the costume. So we have a lot of practicing to do.
Oh,
and they have to also perform the parts at the same time. They have to sing, and they have to move, and they have to be cognizant of a tricky terrain, shall we say.
Mm-hmm. Well, and 3 words stuck out from your mission statement: transformative opera experiences, and that definitely falls into that category. So I'm so excited that it's coming to Kansas City and it's at the Kaufman.
Right.
But you also, throughout your season, you also have an initiative where you place operas in different settings for people to experience in different ways. Can you tell us about how that initiative got started and what are some of the settings?
We have a series of activities that have been planned around Everest, and people should go to kcopera.org to see the entire menu. One of them, for example, is going to be an event at Rock KC. One of our cast members, Craig Verm, is actually a climber, and he will be doing climbing at Rock KC and talking about the opera. We have book groups that are being done in conjunction with the library, so people can read Into Thin Air and have a conversation with Katie Stover. We have other climbers coming to talk. We had another event at the library. So we have a number of events outside of the concert hall to perhaps create points of entry into the opera and demystify what we're doing. The opera is also only 75 minutes long, but it's a very intense 75 minutes. So that's also part of the allure of the opera.
Oh my goodness, and you do so much also to nurture the new generation of opera fans and opera professionals with so many different programs that you have. You go out to schools and you also have a residency program. And so many different programs that are not just related to a specific opera, but you go out and beyond your performance spaces as well. If people want to sign up for a workshop or for a performance to come to their school, how would they go about doing that?
Again, we are blessed with a great website. So you would go to kcopera.org and you would click on education. Everything is on the website. We look at education as lifelong learning. So we have programs that start with little itty bitty ones that go up through adult education. You know, before each and every opera, if you come early, you can come into the Kaufman Center and you can hear somebody give a pre-opera lecture. So they'll demystify it and they'll explain everything that it's about. So there are plenty of opportunities for people to learn.
And to get tickets on your website too.
And to get tickets. Tickets can be purchased on our website too.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this information about the opera, but also about Everest.
Thank you for inviting us to be part of this. We love to share our information.
The Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund supports local nonprofits that bring cultural, social, educational, and recreational activities to our area. To learn about additional upcoming events, visit kcmo.gov/NTDF.